a couple weeks ago.
Iraqi wines.
Believe it or not.
They tend to explode with flavor.
Yes.
That was great. Hello and welcome to another episode of the
Whiskey.
Tobacco.
Fellowship.
That is right. Today we are doing another wine episode where we are going to talk about wine. And I am not going to do this the entire time, even though
You are correct.
Because
You're
someone gets shanked at the end of this.
I am not too bad at a stupid French accent, but it will work, and I may do it just to annoy the fuck out of these two. I'm just joking.
We can leave.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Today we are going to be doing two different bottles of wine. What are the first two we're doing? What's the name of them?
We're doing an Anjou Red from the Loire Valley, and we're doing a Pauillac from France.
All right, perfect. And then today's smoke, since this is a My Father's sponsored cigar, thank you, Harris.
Yes, thank you.
We are going to be doing the Jaime Garcia.
The Corona Grande size.
Corona Grande size, the beautiful stick. And today, the subject matter at hand is going to be the modernization of the cigar industry versus traditional, mixed in with our drunken ramblings as we get drunk on wine,
Yeah, someone's
amateurs.
as we typically do. Now, circling back around, I'm going to let Eric take a little bit of the lead on this since he's an expert on both of these things.
I'm actually not. So,
Where's my lighter?
Use mine if you need to, so.
I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, continue. Found it.
okay. Crisis averted.
We,
There will be a funny
we
edit
swear
in there
we know what we're
somewhere.
doing.
Nope, no edits.
We know what we're doing. We are professionals. We know how to light cigars and keep lighters on this at all times. I about lit the wrong end of the cigar. Don't pay that no mind. It's not.
So tell us about our first bottle, Mr. Eric.
So this is from a company called Mary Taylor Wines.
Okay.
And what Mary Taylor does is she travels Europe to find small family-owned vineyards that make interesting juice. And
Juice. Is that a technical term?
Yeah, 100% technical. So what she does is she has a white label program, basically, and if you'll notice, the biggest thing on the label is the region.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
Underneath the region, she will have the family who creates the wine.
Okay.
And last but not least, in cursive that you can actually read,
Hey.
it is her name. So Anjou is a region in the Loire Valley. This is a 80% Cab Franc and 20% Cab Sauvignon.
Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. Sauvignon's going to probably give you more of that buttery note, right?
It is. It's so. Look, I think this is a very soft wine.
Okay.
It's nice.
I feel there's a lot of red fruit, but not overly aggressive or powerful on your palate.
And the great thing about this one is we've had this bottle open for almost 2 hours now.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's when we first opened it before we started this recording, it was a little lighter than it was right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's mellowed out.
Yeah.
The Austin has hit it. And
Yeah. So let that be a lesson. Open your bottle of wine and let it breathe for at least an hour.
It makes a difference. I didn't think it did, and Mr. Eric has definitely turned my mind around about that.
No.
And then for those of us in the listening audience, me included apparently, the label on this one is pretty simple. It's just kind of the off-white with normal text on it. Nothing's fantastic, but I don't think it needs to be.
No, right? You don't.
So
you don't drink the label, man.
That's right.
you don't drink the, but it also does sell the bottle though, half the time.
Yeah.
And I think having the wealth of knowledge of where it is and what it's blended with really helps sell that bottle off the shelf. And I think it kind of comes with experience and actually asking people what their recommendation is. Like if you go into a wine shop, if you don't have a knowledge of wine, just ask the person that runs the place.
Yeah.
They're, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to steer you wrong.
Right.
If you tell them exactly what you're looking for, like, hey, I want something sweet, maybe a little bitter, a little drying, or something like that, they can be like, okay, you want this.
Yeah.
Then, like, do you want a certain region? And then, like, what's the difference? And they can go into these massive details that's like, wow, never knew.
Hopefully, most wine shops are set up by region.
Yes.
So if you want Italian, if you want French, if you want New World, right? If you want California, red, white. So I bought this at my favorite wine shop, and I lucked into a tasting with this company, with Mary Taylor Wine. So I got to
That's
try
cool.
a selection of about 6.
I'd highly recommend going to a wine tasting or any kind of tasting of any spirit of any kind. If you don't have any kind of knowledge of anything, the best way to find out what you like is a tasting.
You know, I've never been to a wine tasting. I've done bourbon tastings.
I've
never been to a wine tasting.
I've been to 2 wine tastings. They're quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
Quite enjoyable. But I highly recommend going to a shop that has a wide variety of different wines.
Yes.
Not just a singular product with variations on that one singular product.
Yeah.
Try French wines, try Italian wines,
Try Spanish wines.
Spanish wine, California wines, try them all.
Argentinian wines, right? Like we
Yes.
did that a couple weeks
Iraqi wines.
ago. Believe it or not.
They tend to explode with flavor.
Yes.
That was great.
You know what? I got nothing. Never mind. I was going to tell you a story about a bottle of Iranian wine that I saw at this store, but
And then it
now
was
I'm
gone.
not.
So today, what we're smoking, the Jaime Garcia. If you've never smoked this before, you definitely need to get a hold of it. What I like to tell people when they're asking for a good Maduro is, you need to go with the Jaime Garcia. It's been around for a while, and it ain't changed that much because it's that good. The banding on it has kind of that off-white, slight yellow.
Almost like
The
eggshell.
Almost the eggshell, but it's a little more yellowish. It's got a muted red and the dark royal blues on it. It says Jaime Garcia.
It's got some gold inlay in it as well in the
Silver
lettering.
inlay, and it's just a beautiful stick. The band is done very well.
Thank you.
It looks like when you get, it's just wrapped really well. It's got
It
that
is.
classic, like you got a nice, elegant box, a gift you got for somebody that you took a lot of time. The band on this reflects that, which, in my opinion, which we're biased. We know he's biased.
100% biased.
But Garth and I are definitely biased because of my father, and all of their bands are gorgeous.
Thank you.
Tell
Again.
us what we're smoking. Like, what's the details?
So the Jaime, obviously created for Pepin's son, by Pepin's son, Jaime. It is a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper over our Nicaraguan binders and fillers. And
Nice.
the beautiful thing about a broadleaf Maduro, when done properly,
Yeah.
is that, I don't like talking about flavor notes,
Right.
but to me, it's a very medium-bodied tobacco. Maybe some black coffee, some dry cocoa powder notes.
And I'm getting that right now. Like when I just got it, and it makes me stop. It's just always that good. And at any size, you get that out of it.
I think it's good. I think it's not overpowering either.
Yes.
Like, some Maduros can be like very harsh on the palate.
Yeah.
I think this is a lighter smoky Maduro that has some complexities to it. It makes it unique and
No stained tobacco here.
right.
No.
Like I was telling them before this cigar in particular was my go-to golf cigar because I'm always going to be a Maduro type person or a Oscuro. I like the darker end, but I don't want something that's overpowering when I'm on the golf course in the hot sun.
Yeah.
This kind of is like the go-to in between. So I don't always smoke just Connecticut's or just something light on the golf course. This is
Yeah.
what I'm
So
going to.
you decided the pairing of this. What made you want to do a wine-isode?
Yeah.
A wine-isode.
A wine-isode with us
That's why
instead of us bringing some kind of bourbon and smoking this. What made you want to pair these two things together?
I like them both. And I think they go,
taste good.
I think they pair exceptionally well together, right?
Right.
So you've got an interesting thing with the Connecticut River Valley with the soil, right? It's actually called loam.
Loam?
Loam?
Yeah.
Loam?
Loam. Loam.
LOAM. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you said
it's-
loan.
So broadleaf tobacco grows very well in well-drainable loam. So loam is a mixture of silt, clay, and sand.
Okay.
Okay.
He's bringing that up for a reason. You'll figure out here in a second.
So I think what you'll find is with a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper, you're tasting more of the soil than you normally would, right?
Yeah.
Like everything is connected. And if you look at it, it's toothy. You might see some gold flecks in it.
Yeah.
That is a reflection of the soil and where it was grown.
Yeah.
Now,
You get a very organic feel off of this
yeah.
cigar.
Now, if you talk about pairing, what you're tasting in wine is a direct result of the soil.
Right.
It's like they're hand in hand.
almost.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. I
Right.
really don't, so please don't believe me.
I think you do. I think. So does soil by itself the only factor when the flavors of the cigar come out? Like, the leaf
Well,
and
the
the soil,
varietal obviously is
but-
going to lead that charge.
But does like other weather factors play an effect of how the tobacco turns out, like wind
Yes.
or rain, stuff like that?
Rain for sure. Sun, yes.
So, leading on that question as well, that immediately made me think, if you've got a crop yield that got way more rain than normal, that's going to change what you're going to use that particular tobacco for. Yes, no, maybe?
Or do you have predetermined places? This is what this crop makes and whatnot. You can't say. I fucking hate when he does that.
So here's what I will tell you. Growing the seedling is only one part of it.
Right.
Priming and curing it is another part of it.
Right, right.
The fermentation or the processing of the tobacco
Yeah.
is where that can equal out.
Right. You can make up for some like overly rainy seasons in a way. Okay.
Because the humidity probably has a factor in
Yeah.
the final product.
We also are lucky enough that we don't have to use that tobacco right away, right? The process of our
Right.
tobacco is
Yeah.
Right.
almost 3 years
And-
before you
and
guys
there-
You
and
can
there-
detect
it.
that.
Right. And the rain's probably different too because it's an island basically to where it probably has more salt content in the rain than
Well,
we
this
would.
is from Connecticut.
This is from Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you have other products that are affected.
America's a giant island.
I mean, technically speaking.
Well, I mean, we'd call it a continent,
Yes.
wouldn't we?
well,
Would we?
Not
Super
yet.
Earth.
but do you have other products that would possibly be affected by more salty water, air?
So we're lucky enough, I think, when we talk about our Nicaraguan and Honduran operations now, we're so far inland from both coasts
Okay.
that we really don't have to deal with salt as an
Okay.
issue. Right?
Okay.
With hurricanes and stuff like that. So
That
but-
was my immediate thought.
Tormentos.
You feel like if you had higher salt content, it would affect maybe the curing of the tobacco or
Yeah. So, but no, like rain is an issue, right? Like we try to plant, we plant in what we consider in Nicaragua our dry season.
there's a dry season in Nicaragua.
That doesn't mean it doesn't rain.
It's about 2 weeks in November.
Why is he suddenly from New York?
Yeah, that's odd to me. That's odd to me.
Well,
So, but no, so, which is also to say that sometimes the rainy season isn't rainy.
Right.
So there
Right.
is a constant battle of.
you
of
basically
moisture.
you're hedging your bets on the lighter, and then if it happens, it happens. But
But that's why we also drip irrigation our tobacco to make sure, connected to what we're connected to, that it's reading the weather and knows, is it going to rain? Let's cut off watering. Is it not
yeah,
going to
because
rain?
it could be oversaturating your
Yes.
crop, and then that
Yes.
can ruin the whole crop.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, we used to do, when I first started with the company 14 years ago, we used to do flood irrigation
Interesting.
in
Okay.
between each row in the fields.
Right.
And
Is that just basically flooding the whole crop and like a
yeah, so
few inches of water and let it
there's a valley in between each row.
Yeah.
And we would just flood that,
flood
let
that,
it
let it
soak in.
slowly soak in?
And we moved to a controlled system of drip irrigation to
Yeah, because you say like if
Modernization.
you're planting a new tree,
Oh,
you don't
imagine
want
that.
to flood the if you plant a new tree, you don't want to flood it with water.
Correct.
You have to slowly drip it in with water, let it soak it in, and
Yes.
then add some more.
Yeah, you don't
If
wanna shock
flood
it.
it. It's like you're waterboarding the plant.
Yes.
To where it doesn't take the nutrients it needs.
which is fine sometimes.
Oh, yeah, waterboarding. Okay.
And it is,
I like
and you're right. It is a form of modernization that the tobacco industry has come to where back in the day they weren't worried too much. They just grew the crop, and what came of it came of it.
Yeah.
Whatever weather it was, or water it got,
And look, we did it to become more efficient as our operations have grown and as our farms and fields have expanded. It just made sense
Yeah.
to do this drip irrigation that is computer controlled. Now, that's as much as I can speak to it because I'm not.
Right. That's understandable. But that some people with base knowledge of the
Yeah.
maybe the process they didn't think about, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people when they think of the tobacco industry, they still think of back in the late or early 1900s, like they grow a crop, they yield it, throw it into a woodshed, not even think about introducing any kind of technology
Sure.
into growing the actual product itself.
Now, I would also challenge you to find a Jaime Garcia from 2012 and smoke that with this. Is there
A difference?
Is drip irrigation better than
Than
flood
not. Is the technology that you use worth the product outcome?
So I think the quality remains the same. I think for us, we have become more efficient.
Right.
Right? Like we're doing.
You're trying to keep costs down, basically.
Um,
Because at a certain point, you start losing yield due to weather of something you're not really monitoring, I guess. Maybe, right?
Maybe some people will, but no. Like for us again, the size of our farms, we just need to be more efficient.
Right.
Okay.
And if we can be efficient at even call it a small tweak, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If we can be efficient in each of those steps, I think that's an overarching.
Right.
With modern technology, I think that's an overarching win for the end product because we were able to get it done
More efficiently.
more efficiently,
Yeah.
not quicker because tobacco
It's just more efficient
just
at the end
takes
of the
time.
day.
Yeah.
So how would you, and this is a little bonus to the Jaime Garcia, how would the process, was it any different for the very limited run Jaime Garcia successor?
Fantastic cigar stuff.
Very
for those.
fantastic cigar. I miss it so much.
So first of all, it's Sucesor.
Okay.
Yeah, bitch.
Okay.
So
Yeah, just like this isn't Jaime Garcia.
No, it's not. It's Jaime.
People will call it Jaime Garcia. It's because you're in the U.S. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Sucesor was two one-off products, sort of debuted as one.
Right.
We had a 6x56 box press Toro with a Sumatran wrapper,
Yep.
and then we had the box press Torpedo with the Habano wrapper on it.
The Habano is my
Both were
favorite.
amazing.
Yeah.
I tend towards the Habano wrapper
Me too.
myself.
That's
Me
right.
too.
They're both great. I just
Fantastic cigars.
I smoked the Toro yesterday, but
I still have a couple in my humidor. It's fantastic.
no, sometimes we just do fun short run things, and
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people do. Honestly, it's the same thing in the spirit industry as well. They'll have a short little run. It's like, hey, this is say this is a wine. These grapes we got in a certain section of our crop that only grows this time of year every 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Some weird shit.
Yeah.
And they make a limited run of we got 3 cases of these wine bottles, and then people are like, man, it's fucking amazing. Why can't we have this year round?
yeah.
It's not. Sometimes it's just not
Yeah.
in the cards.
It's a
you
nice
know?
little. It was a nice little treat when
Right.
it was out. Yeah.
Look, I bought a case of wine 3 years ago, and it was actually called Cape Doctor from South Africa, and it was their version of a Bordeaux. And the wine shop that I bought it from could not and will not get any more of it.
Oh,
And it was a beautiful year. Hopefully, it'll come back out again. But yeah. So no, Sucesor. We'll see how Real Madrid ends up doing football wise. Sorry, I apologize.
So
If Jaime's watching.
so say if they win the cup, right? Would he release a known or something that he would do for
he
something
can
like
neither
that, right?
confirm nor deny that.
I will say this: would it be something he would do if something like that would happen? Not saying he would or wouldn't. Like
That would be something that Jaime would do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Not saying he would.
Yes.
So, how old is the Jaime Garcia cigar? Like, as long as I've been smoking, I've seen it.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I've been.
How old is his son? Let's put it that way. How old is Jaime?
No,
You don't know how old he is?
no. Jaime's was born in. Jaime's in his 50s.
In his 50s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably say, what,
No.
20 years?
No.
No?
Jaime came out in 2000 and. Can you edit AI voice me over this when I mess it up?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Roughly. Give or take.
Came out right before 2010.
Okay.
Okay. That's, yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
I've always enjoyed it ever since I moved to Birmingham.
And that's fucking closer to 20 years than you wanted to fucking admit. I wasn't that far off. You know it's 2025, right?
So
I feel it.
You know, you look at
we've got these modernized techniques used to make the cigars better. And we're talking about, basically, we've got this traditional cigar.
Yeah.
It's got a traditional look. It's got a wonderful flavor. All of my father's stuff does. And then we've got this wine that you've paired with it.
Mm-hmm.
And your complementary nature towards these two. What makes the process they used for this complement this so well for you?
I think the act of growing wine and cultivating vineyards is hand in hand with we do with tobacco.
Yeah.
And I think the process of wine making and stomping the grapes and
Yeah, because I'd probably assume that certain regions keep that to that traditional way
Yes.
of making wine
Yes.
versus maybe somewhere in California using a big ass
macerator,
machine.
yeah.
To
They got Lucy,
mash it,
right, with her feet in the thing.
Such a good
mashing the
episode.
grapes.
it's a great episode.
You notice? Do you notice when he starts like getting really elegant with his voice? He gets lower and sweeter.
lower.
It's this and it's that.
It's the seduction of my voice.
There is no seduction in this voice.
But this is an
But no,
interesting try.
Right.
I think if you're going to enjoy one handmade product, you might as well enjoy two. And I think the process and the journey of a vine to the grape to the end product,
Yeah.
it is incredibly similar. I think you're also tasting the soil in wine as well, right?
Yeah.
Like
And you get that with almost anything. I'll be honest with you. Like if you have traditional made like candy,
Right.
like, it's a long process to get it to that thing wrapped in front of you. I'm not talking a Snickers bar, which I know there's a process to it, but I'm talking like you go to
Reese's.
the Soho districts, and they've got these people making the candy in front
Well,
of
these
you.
things have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Kit Kat, Reese's, all these
Yeah.
these have been around for a long time, and they've changed over time with packaging and looks of them. But the base
And
of what they
ingredients.
are,
Yeah.
the base of what they are when they first started, are still eerily similar to what they started out as.
Well, because it's the difference between like, and I know you go to a fancy restaurant, you may be able to get something that's like, the chef made this Reese's equivalent
yes.
that
Yeah.
morning, and it's probably the best thing you'll ever have, and Reese's will never be able to make something that
Because
good.
it has to be mass produced versus
Right.
fresh ingredients
Yeah.
made from that day.
Yeah. It's just like freshly made bread, things
The
like that.
only thing I say is like with traditional versus modern S type is the fear is if you keep everything so traditional in the way is that it shuns new people from coming into the industry.
Yeah.
Because when people view the cigar industry, they see an old white guy, honestly, an old white guy with a cigar.
I feel called out right now.
It's true. An old white guy in a cigar in a smoky room a bunch of bourbon and stuffy attitudes about the world. That's what people view when they view the cigar industry. They don't. When they see a cigar, they don't think, "Oh, this is modern, hip." And I worry that some of the cigar industry is foregoing getting new people into the industry and to settle for a traditional way of doing things.
Right.
Let's talk about that after the break.
I completely agree, and we'll start out with the next bottle of wine, and we'll be right back.
Bye. All right. Are we ready for bottle 2?
I think we are. Let's
All right.
go ahead. Tell us the name of this one while you're pouring that one.
This is a 2021 Chateau Obligé. It's a Pauillac.
Oh wow, that's a lot darker than the first one we had.
Yeah, it is.
So this Chateau,
Jipping me. You're off a 16th of an inch.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
cheers, gents. This Chateau, I believe, so it's Liberal was the name of, I guess, the family who started it.
Yeah.
And it's a fifth growth.
What does that mean?
One of the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's number
cool.
5.
Sorry for me for fucking caring.
So,
Indeed, toi.
You get something shoved up your twat here in a second.
you know, I wanted to drink wine and smoke cigars.
So what's the drastic difference between these two? Because you, Eric, selected both of these, and you do such a great job on these wine episodes selecting them.
So here is the drastic difference. There's not one. They're both yummy. And I think that's okay, right? Like,
That's okay.
So the first episode we did with the 3 bottles, right? The good, better, and best.
Yep.
We didn't do a Pauillac.
Yeah.
And I like Pauillac. So
What is a Pauillac?
Exactly my question.
don't worry about it. Drink it. It doesn't need to be difficult.
Yeah, but if someone's going to this into a wine shop and
They're like, I heard him say Pauillac.
yeah, what is a Pauillac?
I want you to drink it and you tell me. I want so
Challenge accepted. You telling me to drink more? I'm okay with that, right?
It's good though.
dark fruit, right? Cherries, maybe pomegranate. There's
Yeah.
a little
Yep.
on the sour.
Yep. It's a little, strangely enough, the last one had, it's going to sound strange, but the last one, you could kind of taste the alcohol a little bit,
Okay.
so to speak, whereas this one, it's more fruit and you're
It's
less
more, it's more like a tart grape.
It's velvety.
velvety.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
word. Great
Yeah.
word.
It goes well. It's not as drying as the first one was.
No, definitely not.
No, not at all. So that's my challenge.
Yeah.
You guys look up what a Pauillac is.
And then
And good luck
Pronounce
trying
that
to
again for me.
spell it.
Chateau
Oh,
Haut
bonjour.
Bijou. Chateau Bijou. Liberal.
So you can't close your lips. You gotta press them out like
That is right.
Just
That is how we pronounce it in the mother tongue.
like it's like hamburger.
Hamburger.
Do you know what they call a quarter pounder in France?
Hamburger.
Hamburger. So it's got a nice label on it, pretty traditional. Nothing special about their label, but it does have a nice kind of flat silver embossing on it, which is nice. Little villa down at the bottom, and then
Or the chateau.
or the chateau, yeah. The Claire Villager Lorton.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Butchering all these names.
Hey, if you have a problem with me butchering the names, feel free to tell me in the comments, and then comment about that comment.
Well,
Is there a point where we can get to the number of comments where both Garth and I and Josh, when he shows back up, get to slap you upside the head?
Yeah. Uh huh.
how many is
What's
that?
the number?
It can't be done by you two or him. So if I see y'all's name on it and try to get to this number, but 50 comments about it, and 50.
50.
But it can't be y'all. It can't be y'all too.
Doable.
50.
Doable.
It's
It's
doable.
easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
And this is retrospect because, you know, these episodes, we've got a bunch of them coming out, and people are starting to pick up and watch them.
Right.
So it could be a year from now, and I scroll back through it and go, well, I'm about to get smacked in the head. in this next
You won't even
episode.
see it coming. You'll forget about it.
right.
All of a sudden, just walk in here and just be like, bam, right in the back of the head. You know.
So the subject matter for today, in more specific detail, Mr. Garth came up with this one wonderfully. The modernization of the cigar industry versus traditional. And it wasn't just like the base levels that we just spoke about before the break. You had a wonderful context, like the depth you went into thinking up this idea. What was your thought process?
Well, like we talked about before break, a lot of people have this preconception of what the cigar industry is.
Yeah.
Of being a stuffy upper white class person in a room full of nothing but whiskey, cigars, smoke, and off the wall political ideas. That's what everybody thinks when they think of cigars. This is what it is. It's happened over years, and history is to blame for it. But I feel like, is the cigar industry doing enough to make cigar industry more modern to capture the younger audience that might be standoffish because of what we
21
just
and
talked
older.
about? Or they want to stick to tradition and let the tradition of the tobacco industry speak for itself and the product basically stay the same.
Right.
I'm not saying modernization as in changing how they do the cigars or make the cigars, but there's certain things with branding, advertising,
Right.
Events they can do, certain things that they can
The
make
look of the boxes. and
just
things of
anything,
that-
because there are certain cigar industries right now that have more modern looking boxes that might from the distance look very technological driven than the classic filigree and old style look.
Pick out a $20 word. Wow, you just trumped him. Well done.
I can't spell it though.
IT, that's how you spell it.
T-I. Oh damn it! I fucking messed up.
Yeah. Acanthus leaves.
It's onomatopoeia.
No, it's not onomatopoeia.
gonna use the
M-I-S-S-I-P. M-I-C-C-I.
Oh my gosh.
So that is a wonderful question, and I can only speak, from my experience. The first time I stepped into a cigar store was with my dad when I was 18 years old,
Right.
and
That's when it was legal to do at 18.
yes, that
now
was
it's 21.
That was over 30 years ago.
That's a different subject for a different day.
So, to before you get started on that, the first thing that popped into my head is, just because this is a My Father episode, was the normal Antilles,
Antilles?
Antilles, sorry, and the Les Bijoux. I'm still
Les Bijoux.
Les Bijoux. They're boxes. They're
Good for dipping your sandwich, as you, right?
yeah. Exactly.
Wow, you guys are never coming down to the factory.
So you look at their boxes, their bandings and stuff like that, and then you look at the Jaime Garcia box, which is this clean cut, beautiful light wood. It's
Sure.
very kind of almost a modern look to the box. And that's kind of the hints we're looking at. It's kind of where his idea kind of spurred from.
Right, because there's a lack of women representation in the industry. Not saying there has to be an abundance of women in the industry, but when people think of cigars, they don't think of women per se. Not saying that they should be foremost.
Right.
But
My boss is Johnny Garcia.
if you want to bring
Jaime's sister.
yes, so I'm saying
Pepine's daughter.
you want to
But
bring
yeah,
women,
there's
in
no
the
women
industry. You don't. I'm not saying that. You're not listening. I'm saying if you went out there and you just stop someone in a normal street and think, who do you think smokes cigars that are walking down the street right now? Would they point out a woman or would they put out a man?
They're going to point out a middle-aged man, probably in a business suit.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. And look, you can blame culture for that, popular culture, right? All the movies that we've seen.
But is there
growing up.
things you can do in popular culture now that make it more accessible?
So this might get super deep, but look at
Just a tip.
Classy show here.
Go ahead as your
Continue.
riveting deep thought.
look at
Go deep, Eric.
every
We're not drinking. Shut up.
look at every rating on every movie or television series you watch now.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the things that they're going to point out sex, violence, flashing lights,
Like you get your rating for the
foul
show.
language, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to notice smoking is going to be before violence or
Sex.
sex. Or, yeah, like we've been vilified for so long,
Right.
Right, that it's hard to. We also can't advertise outside of our subculture of magazines and our social media presence, right?
Thank you, cigarette companies.
Yes. So, but here's what I've noticed. Over the last 5 years, there has been a
surge.
Okay, surge is a great word.
It's a good drink back in the day too.
Cause heart attack.
It's also a nice cotton.
That's right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have
Often
no idea.
these things are not forgotten.
Yeah.
The fabric of our lives.
Yes. So there has been a surge towards small handmade,
Like boutique cigars.
not even
Bespoke.
cigars. Bespoke is a great word. There are companies who make boots
Yeah.
one by one. There are companies
Yeah.
in this country who now make denim jeans.
Right. And then wallets. That's been a huge thing that's exploded. And
Well,
you're right.
We're gearing more towards the handmade stuff.
The bespoke
Yes.
stuff has risen
Yeah.
in the past 5 years, especially since COVID.
It's almost
And cigars are getting right in there.
yeah. So for the last 5 years, there's almost been there's been a return to local. Obviously, cigars aren't local unless you live in Nicaragua, but there is an
Shout out to
appreciation.
Nicaraguans.
Thank you.
See. What? You
know what?
It's a yes.
So
Racist.
that's not even.
That's what?
well,
What?
that's not even.
Go ahead. Continue with your deep
I-
thought.
I-
It takes 5 minutes.
Of all the episodes you've seen with Eric on here, Eric and Garth's rapport
Relationship.
with each other.
No,
is,
it's a relationship at this point.
It's
We
it's
have
a
the
deep,
photos to prove it.
it's a deep penetrating relationship.
Penetration.
Yeah, they really get into each other's minds.
Well, he is a priest, so it does add up.
Oh, good Lord. I'm gonna flash those pictures up there, but I'm gonna forget. So.
No, do it. Look. At the end of the day, I think there's a return to bespokeness. There's a return to, I want to know who made whatever
Like
I'm buying.
the Made in America movement that has been started, and not just that it's America. It's like you want to know where this came from.
I don't want to buy from a giant corporation. anymore.
Exactly.
You think about here in Birmingham, Pepper Place. That place has exploded in the past 5 years because it's like a local market where everybody brings their stuff. People make
Yeah,
bread,
you get your homemade
pottery,
bread, your
fruits,
meat that's
vegetables.
been cured at home.
They got brioche.
They got brioche. They
They
got all the
do.
breads you can think of.
Yeah,
They
man.
got all the potted, all the canned stuff you want.
Yeah.
Like pickled onions, anything. And you like to know. You sit face to face, if not face to face, but know a knowledge of. They grew this for this amount of time.
They wanna know what's in it.
They
They
harvest
call
it.
They call it farm to table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like farm to table.
We want to know what's in it.
Yeah. So again, going back to modernization, there has been sort of this detour of a lot more people, younger people, younger than me anyway, walking into cigar stores and starting to take up the hobby. And it's absolutely important for cigar store owners or employees to realize that we don't need a wide fan base.
Right.
We need a deep fan base.
Dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
going to start their journey with them and travel around each cigar producing country, each size, each strength level, each price point, knowing that they have everyday affordable cigars to smoke on a Wednesday afternoon. They have cigars that they can celebrate a promotion with, or a birthday, or an anniversary, or a holiday. It really is one of those things that, for me, and I'm sure for you guys, every high point in my life, I can tie back to a cigar.
Yep.
Right? Every low point,
back to cigar.
Cigars were there.
And a bottle of bourbon.
Or any spirit of your choice.
Or any spirit of your choice. Or Dr. Pepper. Right? Like,
And I'd completely agree, because I'd say that is the trend you're looking at nowadays, is people want something this good in front of them.
Okay, you know, I'm going to go on a rant right now.
Do it.
We live in a world of 24-hour news, caller ID, and information, quote-unquote information, at your fingertips.
Have found false advertisement, false news.
This is one of the only things that you can do to step out of that stream and relax.
You're doing it right now when you're listening to us.
Right.
I mean, honestly.
So,
But I will say, can you hold on to that farm to table aspect of it while also simultaneously modernizing the way you get that product out there?
okay, so modernization as far as getting the product to
That's
shelves.
another aspect of this.
Marketing aspects, I guess.
So,
Because I know we are limited because, like we said, you can't run a commercial on the TV or anything like that. You're kind of limited to magazines.
That would be the
and
day.
such.
Wouldn't you imagine watching like Netflix and a My Father cigar commercial pops up?
That'd be amazing.
You imagine if that ever happens?
look, please know that I do not speak for my company about this. I'm a facilitator for My Father Cigars and the Garcia family.
Right.
Our modernization is brick and mortar cigar stores.
Right.
Our modernization,
bespoke. Yeah.
Our modernization is us coming into cigar stores and interacting with employees, owners, and
That's
consumers.
how we got to know each other.
Right.
I rue the day.
But it's just the ones that you can't get in the store is the issue. You can talk to the people that are in the stores all day long, but getting the people that are outside the door and be like, I don't know about this place. Should I walk in through the door or not?
But that's where your friends come in. I mean, honestly, that's
but
word
again,
of mouth is the big deal.
So we're talking about modernization.
I mean, we got Josh to smoke.
Right.
I remember seeing
right now.
that.
Listen. I'm just being the devil's advocate on this point. I'm just trying to argue the other point. I agree with a lot of what the cigar industry does already, but I'm trying to look at the aspect of someone else that's outside the cigar world and what they're looking
Cigar
for.
only fans.
No, okay, no.
Because I can,
Absolutely
because I can
not.
never smoke a cigar in my life, and I can drive past the cigar shop and see it. Like, I wonder what that's like.
Okay,
Should I still stop by in there? or not?
So that's not modernization. That's your brain,
right.
right? Because of pop culture. That's your likes, dislikes.
Well, a lot of times you see it in history and in movies and TV shows. Some people smoking cigars. Like,
Right.
I wonder what that's like.
You see gangsters smoking. You see cowboys smoking. You see
I think the increase
every
of pop
bad
culture,
guy smoking. Walk into a cigar store.
Yeah, absolutely. Try it out.
Just walk in.
Yeah, you'll find a great group of people willing to have conversations, and if you don't want to say anything, they won't even talk to you.
At the end of the day, it's still terrifying. Don't get us wrong. It is terrifying to walk into basically a way of life that you're not a part of.
Yeah, look, nobody wants to be made
A fool.
a fool, right? But don't think that we haven't heard any of your questions before.
That we haven't been in the same exact spot you have been in that life.
Yes. some of us longer
And I
ago
don't
than
think
others.
I don't think you can go into any cigar shop. I mean, I've only been in one that was really awkward. One in my entire life that was really awkward to go into. Other than that, it's always been if I had a question, everybody there would be willing to answer that question every single time.
Sure, it's a real life Google.
It's just the
Yeah.
fear of asking the question in the first place.
Yeah.
And you know what? We've got some customers at the local cigar shop that we go to on the regular that we'll literally be smoking something. The guy will ask the cigar merchant about it, and before he can even say something, that regular customer will chime in before he even says anything.
Oh, I do it often.
Yeah. You do that, Austin. That's right. You do.
You do.
I've seen you do that.
I've seen you do it as well.
But it's because when you have something that's a part of your life that you love and care about, you want every opportunity in the world to share that with someone else that might be new to that and start their journey onto a long path of something that's very enjoyable, like I did with Josh. I mean, you both did with Josh.
Yeah.
I can't remember when I first started. I don't know how we got on it, but it's something me and you did. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
I
precisely remember
the night.
when Josh came out.
Yep.
And we were standing outside of the business that we worked at.
I was smoking a cigar. He goes,
Smoking.
can I try that? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we're
And
like,
he
you sure
started-
about this?
Yeah.
Just kind of like hesitant because like the type of personality Josh has is a very addictive personality.
Yeah. He buys a backpack for every hobby.
Once he gets a hold of something, he goes.
Really?
He
Yes.
deep dives into it, right?
Yeah, sure.
With whiskey, he deep dived into
Sure.
it. With car collecting, he deep dived into it. Cigar, we knew it for a fact that he would go head first, full send. If he starts it, he's gonna fall in love with it. That's what he did.
But which there's a percentage of the population out there that absolutely understands what you're saying right now. Here's what I think is most important. If you're looking for advice, would you rather talk to somebody who is actively doing that or somebody who's trying to, maybe it's just a psychological block, right? I'm in someplace. This guy's making me, he wants me to spend money. Are you going to take his advice over the guy who's sitting there already enjoying the product? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And
I think, I think it's helpful.
It's the same aspect of buying a car.
Yeah.
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 Right. Are you going to listen to the salesman trying to sell you that car? Or are you going to listen to the guy that's had that car for 25 years saying, hey, this is lasted me 25 years. It's been the most dependable thing I've ever owned in my life.
Yeah.
If you're going to listen to that guy, it's like, I guess I'm going to buy that Toyota.
So again, walk into a cigar store, ask questions, be okay in your ignorance of a subject, and you are going to
A
find.
good question for you. While we're on this.
Okay, go ahead and interrupt me, but that's cool.
You're
That's
fine. It wasn't anything important, Shorty already said.
You can forgive him later.
Yes. But I would say this on that same thing you were talking about. What would be some of your first questions as a new person in cigars that you would recommend them asking when they're first when they first walk into a cigar shop? What would, like a few questions that you would say, this is what you need to ask?
Where's the bathroom?
No. Be honest, right? Like
I don't know.
I've never smoked a cigar before. This looks interesting. Where should I start?
It's one of my favorite things to do.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's one of my when somebody comes in and they ask that question, I'm telling you, you can ask
Your heart
anybody
smiles.
else. I light up. I'm like,
Yeah.
these regular customers are about to get ignored because I'm going to spend all my time on this person right here.
Yeah. Look, be honest, and don't be afraid to disagree with a suggestion, because look, there are flavored and infused cigars, and then there are what I would call traditional cigars, and you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think the person that's just helping you will ask you, say, what do you like to drink? What do you like to eat?
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
if you like spicy food, you kind of know you might can handle something a little darker. You're like, hey, I like sweet stuff, I like candy. I like, you know.
Although, what's the first question you should ask yourself about cigars?
What?
I'm asking you guys. I'm putting you on the spot right now. What's the first question when you're going to go smoke a cigar?
What flavor or what am I looking to taste today?
Nope, you're wrong. Garth?
How long does this last?
You're close. How much time?
Yeah. How
Do
long
I
does
have?
it take for you to smoke? That's what I was saying.
How much time do I have?
Well, how much time do I have to
Yeah.
enjoy this smoke?
Yeah.
Well, fuck you too, because I know how long.
But a new person walking in has no idea.
Yeah,
They can think maybe this cigar takes me 20 minutes. Little they know that cigar, because it's long and thin, it will take them an hour and a half to smoke.
Right.
yeah. So
They have no knowledge.
So don't revel in your ignorance, and don't be afraid to learn something.
Yeah. And I would have to say, to go more on your aspect of the new person, your modernization, you're listening to this right now. This is your modernization.
Yeah, we are
You're
on
not-
platforms that are streaming.
Right. It's streaming, right.
Yeah.
You are listening to a podcast. You're watching the podcast. And you haven't stepped foot in a cigar shop. And what have we said like multiple times now? Step into one.
Yeah.
The aspect of us even doing this is that gateway to go, you know what? I wouldn't mind going to see this giant redheaded weirdo at a cigar shop.
Not redheaded, half ginger.
A
You're
half
right.
ginger.
Thank
know.
you.
A muggle.
Half ginger.
The redheaded version of a muggle.
But I'll say this: if you walk into a cigar shop and you don't have a good, I guess, for modern word, vibe, it doesn't have a good feeling when you walk in that cigar shop. Don't be afraid just to walk out. And there's plenty of other cigar shops around.
Yeah.
There's ones littered everywhere across the United States or wherever
More
you live.
than you might think.
Yes. Find the one that when you walk in, you're like, man, this feels homey. This
I can
feels,
spend time here.
I can sit here for hours and enjoy smoke
Yeah.
around these people and just
Look.
have a good time.
But my cigar store, when I was 18 years old, had the most interesting people in it, and I learned so much talking to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old people.
Oh yeah.
It's an education unto itself.
That is an aspect I did not think about until just now, because I can tell you, there's a quote I've heard somebody say that all major life decisions in the world are made sitting down by a cigar.
Churchill.
And
Yeah.
I think it was. I think you're right. And then on top of that, me personally, there's been a lot of stuff I've gone through emotionally, mentally, things like that sitting down with fellas like these have helped me get through.
Yeah, because you have deep conversations.
Yeah,
and you'll see those old people in the cigar shop, and a good handful of them are actually vets and such. And the stories they can tell you of their time, and this is an outlet for them to. This is basically their therapy, and you just sit down there and smoke a cigar with them and chatting with them. That's all they want. They want someone to chat with.
Yeah.
all right.
And you have some of the deepest conversations.
I'm going to do something that only means something to me.
Okay.
So
That's very on brand.
raise your glass. Here's the Dr. Bob Likens, who is no longer with us. He was a MASH doctor in Korea, who I met when I was 18 years old.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let us know your libation of choice. I recommend some of these wines. You can see some of the other wine episodes. I love that phrase. I'm telling you, I just love it. That Mr. Eric has been the prime figure for.
So
Check them out.
first of all, I don't know where the first bottle went. The Mary Taylor wine retails for $18.99.
$18.99.
Fantastic.
Right.
Like
Great bottle.
for under $20.
Yep.
What a wonderful bottle of wine with 2 hours of airing.
And people watch and realize that these two things are not a rich person thing to indulge in. You
What's
don't have
the-
to spend an arm or leg.
What's the MSRP on the Jaime Garcia here?
We're at $11 MSRP. Yeah.
You can spend $11 at the gas station for a pack of Reese's and a soft drink, or you can get you a cigar.
I'm telling you, this is the price points on almost all my fathers are fantastic. Again, we're biased.
100%.
Yeah.
I can be bought and sold.
He can. I've seen it.
I mean, if my father wants to make this a my father show all the time,
Well, there's enough cigars in their lineup that we can last a whole year.
I'm telling you, no joke, Eric. I'm not even joking. We will probably go through all of your cigars and then go back through all of my father's cigars multiple times
Right.
in the rest of our lives of doing this.
Oh, yeah, 100% with all it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know when this episode is going to air. but I'm pretty sure we'll be smoking something interesting the next
If we haven't
time.
already.
So
If we haven't already.
if yeah, exactly, because you're probably watching this, and if he's got something interesting, it may get bumped to the front of the line. So you may see that before this episode.
Yes. If you did, we probably fucking enjoyed it.
If you go into a cigar shop on the modernization kind of thing, you go into a cigar shop, I encourage you to ask for, I'd like to try, I've never smoked cigars before, but I really want to try something from the My Father line. I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Yes.
It's kind, honestly, it's true.
It's just an honest recommendation.
Josh would agree too.
If it's something that we didn't enjoy smoking on the show, we wouldn't advertise it. We wouldn't promote it. We wouldn't say recommend it to the friends and family that we have that smoke cigars. If a cigar is something that I would recommend to my dad that smokes cigars, then it's a damn good cigar. And because there's only certain things I would recommend to people.
Yeah.
Please just remember, a cigar is the cheapest 1 hour vacation you can take for yourself
I love that
at
phrase.
100%.
any time of the week.
Yeah, anywhere you want to be.
Anywhere.
I love
Yeah.
that saying
Yeah.
so much.
So,
Yeah.
thank
So-
you guys.
You're very welcome. Is there anything you can tell us more about the wine that we're drinking, we're finishing off with?
Now, a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
that. Out of the two, what would you recommend going for? If you had to only buy one of these, which one are you going to go buy? If you're limited to just one, I know you're going to buy 5,000 cases of them.
Well, the MSRP on the second bottle is a lot higher than this first one, but
Yeah, so MSRP on the Puyak is around $70.
right, and it's worth it, in my opinion.
I think the
look,
Pope one we had
The
previous
Chateauneuf
episode
du Pape, yeah.
for $60 is way higher than that.
The Gugal, yeah.
I would agree.
Oh my
I would
God.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, different varietals, right? So, to me, search out Mary Taylor, and they've got a boatload of wines that are all under MSRP of $20.
Tell them Eric sent you.
No, absolutely not.
So you can almost buy 4 bottles of these for the price of this bottle right
Yeah.
here.
And this
you're
one's
gonna have
wonderful.
a damn good time with this bottle right
And do what we did, because before we started filming, he opened the bottle and poured a little bit for us, and we were like, yeah, it's okay. We let it sit,
for like 2 hours.
changed the game. It was drastically
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, so with young wines, and I'm saying young as this is a 2023.
Right.
In retrospect, it is very young.
You need to let it breathe. 1,000% you need to let
Now,
it
would
breathe.
it change if you left it in your cellar or wherever you store your wine for a couple more years? Would it change any?
You know, so
It's a good question.
It's a great question. The problem is when I buy wine, I drink it.
Right.
I don't
It's
save
the
it.
problem we all have. It's like,
So what you're saying is
Yep.
we should treat bottles of wine like we do cigars, and our recommendation is always buy 2 or 3
Yeah,
bottles.
yeah.
but does it change though?
Yes, 100% it will.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The serious answer is there are some, and again, that is incumbent on you to ask your wine professional, hey, is this drinkable now? Do I need to set it down for 2 years, 3 years, 5? I've had wines that I've been setting down for a decade.
Yeah, because you
Wow.
could probably, like you said, buy a few, drink one now, see what it tastes like
Yeah.
now, then wait a little while or a year or two
Yeah.
or whatever, and then try it again and see what the difference is.
Yeah.
You know what the great thing is I like what Josh does with some of his whiskey. He gets a silver marker and he writes on the side of the bottle the date he bought it.
Well, if Josh's handwriting is anything like yours,
No, it's
We're in
not.
fucking trouble.
I would recommend a Brother P-Touch label maker, which is what I use.
It's like a dyslexic boy with Tourette's wrote this.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I can read it.
You can read it
You
because
can.
it's your hieroglyphics.
That's right.
That's awful.
These both have been enjoyable. My recommendation is I'd go for the Mary Taylor.
This Anjou Rouge for $17.99.
It's hard to pass up.
Right? Like, that's been a great bottle of wine that we've enjoyed.
Is that one easily accessible? Like, when I say that, I mean, I'm not going to find that at Publix, I don't think.
No, you're going to find that at a wine shop.
Right.
Just a wine shop. Okay.
So you could also follow Mary Taylor on Instagram.
Okay.
Selfless plug.
We might can link
Mary
some of
Taylor
the
wine.
websites in the description.
www.mt.wine as well.
.com.
.com.
Expedia.com.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that in forever.
Now sponsored.
But no, like the MSRP on the Mary Taylor stuff, these white labels, I think is, one, it's approachable. Two, they're infinitely drinkable.
Right.
But that was an experiment.
Yep.
Right? Like we didn't know. Like if I'd have opened that by myself, it would have been a different story. I probably would have just
Drink it.
drank it, not enjoyed it, and not bought it again.
Right.
But letting it breathe, just finish it off. There's only
I was gonna do it regardless if you told me to or not.
I knew you weren't going to share. But no, go again. If you've never been to a wine shop, if you've never been to a wine tasting, if you've never been to a cigar event, step outside of your comfort zone.
Yep.
Realize that for under $20 for each thing individually.
Use the quote. Continue. You can take a vacation.
It is. I don't know how else to say it, and I'm not trying to be
It's such a
prosaic,
great way to say it.
It
but
is.
It doesn't matter what kind of day you had. You can smoke a cigar to celebrate or commiserate or remember.
Yes.
Or dream. And I think that we've lost touch of that lately.
Mm-hmm.
So Eric, tell us ways people can connect with My Father online.
So myfathercigars.com is our website. It's on Instagram. We are My Father Cigars Garcia Family, and Facebook, My Father Cigars.
Okay. Can you get My Father cigars in any state in the United States, or is there some states that don't have it? That you know of, I should say.
Outside of Alaska,
Okay.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, yeah.
yes.
If you find a shop that doesn't have it, tell them they need to go get it.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, actually.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you,
man.
Garth. Thank
Great
you,
episode.
Eric, once
Yeah.
again. I think you know what I'm going to do is I have categories on YouTube for like companies that we've done, which that's just been him, which is fine. But I'm going to do another category called Wine-Episodes, just specifically for the knowledge that he has poured into us with wine.
Because we have Daniel also that's very good at wine, and we'll have on some episodes here coming up. It's another wealth of knowledge to someone that's a sommelier level type of knowledge that we're going to be able to have new experiences and possibly have Eric with us too when Daniel's here. Would be great. Something like that.
I'd love to. Because
deep dive into more wine, but it'd be great to have a category or a playlist even on YouTube that you can have for your wine episodes.
So you can find us. You can see the link tree down below. That includes YouTube. It includes Apple, Spotify, Rumble.
All the
as
things.
well.
Love
All
Rumble.
the things.
Love Rumble.
I'm a big fan of Rumble. You can join our Discord. It is the Arc of Fire Studios Discord. You will find all of us on there chatting. Well, maybe not Eric, but we'll get him on there eventually.
I don't know. I don't know what Discord is.
We'll get him eventually.
He needs to. We're on there. Your friends are there.
Yeah, your friends are there. Be there.
Be sensitive.
Be sensitive.
Lower.
Oh my. We have appreciated you guys watching this. Thank you for watching the episodes you have. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Please leave comments, leave reviews. We need all that. We want to hear what you want to drink, what you want to smoke, what you think about what we're doing, what you don't like about what we're doing.
It's gonna be me.
It's gonna
Gotta be me.
I was just thinking that.
Let's get a good cheers in here before we go.
Cheers.
To those lost but not forgotten.
That's
For
right.
those lost but not forgotten.
Miss you, Doc. Again, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time on the next exciting adventure of the
Whiskey.
tobacco.
Fellowship.
Hey, he doesn't know. Josh.
He'll do it better than me.
I've been
Promoting
drinking.
Josh, he never gets it right.
He never gets it.
He doesn't.
But we love him though.
This is